Right. Good evening, people. My name is JR and I am the FRgooner. I'm joined there by Ash and Kerr. How are you guys today?
Well, thank you, brother. Doing good, doing good.
Good. Yeah, good week.
Can't complain at all, bro. Can't complain
Good.
at all. Could have been
Good.
better in it. Could have been better, but
Yeah,
3
yeah.
points. But
This is exactly. This is Arsenal though, bro. It's to be expected, you know.
that'd have been too much to ask, innit? That's being greedy, innit?
Yeah, exactly. How are you, Ash? You good?
Yeah, I'm good, brother. Yeah, just doing my thing, man. Work, family and that. Yeah. Pods here and there where I can fit him in, just one here or there. Do you know what I mean?
Wait, listen, people, this guy is literally everywhere, yeah, when it comes to podding.
Yeah.
So check him out. Check him out. He's doing well, man. He's doing well.
See, man, on Netflix and that.
Gonna bring out an Amazon doc on Ash in a minute.
So he'll probably be on the Arsenal Amazon doc, bro. You know what I'm saying? But listen, yeah, you know, we've gone from the highs of the North London derby, and then we've played Brighton away. Obviously got a 0-0 draw. It's a bit of a. How did you feel after that match, Ash?
Yeah, it's underwhelming, wasn't it? Obviously, coming off of North London derby, the energy that we had in that game, I was kind of thinking, you know, I was quite positive going into it. Like I was under no illusions, like it's going to be a tough game. Brighton have given all teams a hard game, you know, like for the last couple of seasons, really. They just can't finish their dinner, can they? That's the thing with them. But I would say, like, where we haven't got Europe, I just thought the energy would be better. And yeah, just certain things in the game, like Odegaard didn't have his best game. The pressing just didn't seem like cohesive as a team. Do you know what I mean? You had it in like little spells, like Smith Rowe and Saka seemed to be on it most of the time, but other than that, just Aubameyang wasn't suited to that game. Lacazette should have come on earlier. So they're the kind of negatives. The positives, I would say, just that we got a point, because really, on another day, I think we lose that game. Probably last season we do, with a different back four, like, you know, Cedric, Kolasinac, all these clowns, Luis, like Mari. With that sort of back four, I don't think we're getting anything from that game. So we got a point, we move, and yeah, man. The only other thing I will say is Partey, bruv. I love him. I don't know about his shooting, though. Coming like John Jensen out here, bruv.
Yeah, he needs to stop, bro.
I'm not on his shooting. Like, even the ones which come at him nicely, you know, them ones. When I was looking, you know, the one that come back to him so neatly and he was just trying to curve it around. Those ones, if you're above Kerr, you know, anyway, we would have slotted that home, bruv. You know, them one there. Like, but yeah, other than that, yeah, it is what it is, isn't it? It's always like a bit of a disappointment.
Then, didn't it?
Say again?
I said, you see how many chances Partey had to do that, yeah? Like that game, for example, I was trying, even the speculative ones, I was saying it hurt even more, yeah, when you saw within the first half or whatever with Tottenham, Højbjerg scored it our first time, but I was just like,
come on, just rub salt in.
As a gooner, bro. It was disappointing.
But yeah, that was kind of my take on it. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, I thought it would be a difficult match, but after the emphatic victory in the North London derby, I thought we'd do a lot better, if I'm honest with you. But I was under no illusions. Brighton, you know, if they'd won that match, I think they would have been in second position, you know, so in the league. Exactly. So they're doing well. They're doing well. And I like Graham Potter as a manager, to be quite honest. I think he's a very good manager, very good up-and-coming manager. But Kerr, was that Brighton match a reality check then for Arsenal in terms of where we are as a team?
Very much so. Like you both have alluded to, really. I think it was deflating a little bit, wasn't it? Because like we were saying, after the high of the North London derby, and it weren't just the fact that we won, because, you know, let's be real, any game that you win against Tottenham, no matter how you win it, we're all going to enjoy it. Do you know what I mean? But I think it was the manner of the victory and how well we saw how our team play, especially after, you know, the results before that they'd won, but hadn't exactly been convincing. Whereas this was the most convincing result we've had of recent weeks or whatever, of the season, should I say, most convincing performance of the season. And it just so happened to come against our biggest rivals.
Yeah.
So that was what made it sweeter. So then coming off the high of that to then the Brighton game, obviously there was a lot of expectations. I was hearing a lot of fans talking about, you know, oh, if we go and don't beat Brighton, then, you know, like all that hard work's gone to nothing kind of thing. I think that was a bit of a exaggeration, and I don't think it was exactly fair on Brighton. Because I think Brighton as a team, like Ash was referring to, have been a very good team for a couple of years in terms of the way they play football, their approach to every game, their application in every game. They don't always get the results they deserve because, like what Ash said again, they don't necessarily finish their dinner all the time. They don't take their chances. This season, they've took a lot more of their chances that they've created. Because if you look at even the last couple of seasons, in chance creation, Brighton are up there with the biggest teams. Throughout, like in any game, they're up there with all the biggest teams in chance creation. But in terms of putting away their chances, they're right down the bottom. The thing about this season is the way they'd started is they were putting away a lot more chances that they were creating for themselves. Hence, they were getting better results. Hence, where they are in the league now. So it's not even just like a coincidence that they're there where they are right now, you know. I think that says a lot, you know, about their hard work and the work that Graham Potter's been putting in on a training ground with them players.
And imagine if they had a thingy. Imagine if they had like a DCL or like an Antonio Ings, you know, like these villains and certain teams have.
Good level striker like that. Like a Watkins or something like that.
I mean, because thingy's not about it. More pay, Danny Welbeck.
Exactly. I kind of felt because they had like, I think they had the stats where they had something like 20 shots, but only two on target. You know, and
we had more shots than on target than them.
Exactly. And those shots that were on target were in the second half, and the first half they were peppering us. Do you know what I'm saying? Like we were feeling the pressure. Do you think that Arteta then got? Did he lose a tactics battle against Graham Potter in that match? Did he show a bit of naivety?
It's a tough one, you know, because
it's a tough one. It is a tough one because I feel like he tried his best in terms of, you know, he still put another strong side out there that, you know, you could expect to have gone and done the job.
Yeah. Do you know
he didn't go as gung ho in terms of like instead of say switching back to that, reverting back to the, you know, the formation we played the other week against
4-3-3
Burnley.
Yeah.
4-3-3. We just played Partey and then
Odegaard sitting back.
Like or whatever. This time I think he showed them the respect of how they're playing and the, you know, the position they are in the league in that respect. In terms of why he then brought Lokonga back in to play alongside.
Do you know what? Let me just say though, you know, with the reason I ask is, for example, bringing Lokonga back in. Obviously, Xhaka's injured, so there wasn't much what he could do. But my thing is, so Xhaka is left-footed, for example. Lokonga is right-footed. So they're not. It's not a like and like replacement, so to speak. No, you know. No. But yet he tried to play the same way that he would play with Xhaka in the team. And he's got his two favorite formations, 4-3-3, 4-2-3-1. But the thing for me is that there's more formations, there's more methods of play that can be used rather than just reverting to what you would use if Xhaka was there. So I kind of felt that, I don't want to be too hard on him, but I kind of felt that he showed a bit of naivety there. You know, we all thought that we all knew what he was going to do in terms of probably bring in Lokonga to replace Xhaka and do exactly what Xhaka's due to do. Because we saw in Lokonga in that match, he was basically like a fullback. Like the guy was getting pushed back so much, you know.
I think the problem is, like, don't get me wrong, I hear what you're saying. I think just where he hasn't got the personnel, which you kind of alluded to, it's difficult. Like, and then you know, he's got
Maitland-Niles as well, though.
Yeah, he's got him as well. I think I would definitely say like a standout
if you're trying
one
to play that sort of.
Yeah, I think the standout thing for me was like not pulling Aubameyang earlier. He's got to be a bit braver there. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
nothing was sticking. Lacazette, it's a no-brainer. We know that's one of his main attributes, isn't it? He's strong. It's literally immediately come on, man spun on the ball. Everyone's got further up the pitch.
Yeah,
you see what I mean? Just from him holding up the ball, like So it brings a lot to the game. So yeah, I think he should have done that a lot earlier.
Yeah.
And yeah, even obviously he did drag Odegaard fairly quickly. What was it, 60 something?
Yeah.
Which was fair, I think. Not that I'm ruling him out, but I think, you know, it's just, again, like him, what was it, Tomiyasu? Imagine that was Tomiyasu's debut, bro. Everyone would be like, whoa, who's this guy? Because,
this guy,
you know, he was a bit, you know, like, he reminded me a bit.
Yeah, that was his worst game that he's played
100%.
So far, innit?
But, you know, you let him off, man. Like,
he could have been a bit braver, though, innit, Ash? He could have been a bit braver in terms of, it was like once he saw how the game was going, instead of trying to change it to win the game, it was like he then just didn't want to get beat.
Yeah, for real.
He didn't want us to lose it because, like you say there was a number of things that he could have done, whether it, and, you know, not being funny, although Aubameyang's not exactly, or wasn't exactly having his best game or whatever, if you're trying to win the match, you can bring Lacazette on without having to take Aubameyang off if he really didn't want to. Do you know what I mean? Like, if you're really trying to go for the game and get the points, then in my opinion,
put him on the left, didn't it? Really?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Then he's on the focal point. Do you know what I mean?
Exactly.
That was the problem.
And then you've still got Lacazette that can hold the ball and then bring those sort of players into play. And again, like what you said there as well, in terms of if you want somebody who's going to be, you know, cover more fullbackish areas, like what Xhaka does when Tierney goes forward and whatever, you then have Xhaka that kind of drops and covers that side. If that's the sort of team or position that you wanted to play, then you could have played a Maitland-Niles, for example. Who has a bit more experience in the grittiness of what kind of game it was in the Premier League and whatever, where Lokonga's still a little bit learning his trade, isn't he? He's still learning, coming to grips with the English league. And Maitland-Niles has also played fullback. So he knows what it takes to cover certain areas of space and things like that. He played left fullback for us in the cup finals and all the rest of it. You know what I mean?
The thing I'll say,
he
just
would know how to cover those positions.
The only other thing I'll just add quickly is just, you know, just we obviously see them for 90 minutes in it. Like that, I always think that's quite a vital thing. You know what I mean? Like we've seen how much football of Lokonga and Maitland-Niles, like, as in he's seen them in training, innit? So you think he's smart enough. He would have been thinking Xhaka's been out the whole time, had that set up in training, and if he's done a certain job there, even though I agree what Kerr's saying, like Niles has played there, innit, like, and proven himself, you know, like as a fullback as well as playing, you know, in the middle. But I just think sometimes it's a bit. This is what we're doing, innit? We're just, you know, biting into it, analysing it, but in the same way, it's like he's seeing it the whole week, innit? So
I mean, I hear that, Ash, but at the same time, if you're a striker or whatever, just like you said about Aubameyang, he's seeing the strikers play it.
That thing.
And you can see that he ain't thinking, so then you could change it. Do you know what I'm saying?
No, 100%. Yeah, there's things.
It's not I don't think he's necessarily always making the right decisions. Whether it's he's doing things because, you know, he's on the training ground with him. I get that, but if you see things ain't working sometimes, you also then got to have the character to change.
I think it's tough though with Aubameyang. Like, it's more like if he doesn't start that game, even though Laka's more suited,
especially after North London derby,
because how Aubameyang's come into that game, he played a stormer, didn't he? Really?
I agree.
You have to really go unchanged. So I kind of got.
I'm not saying to change Laka for him. I was just saying once you saw that it wasn't Aubameyang,
exactly, 100%.
Then that's when you have the opportunity. And like I said, even if you then didn't want to bring him off or be the first player off, there were some things that he could have done to bring Lacazette on, to have a focal point and still keep Aubameyang on the pitch. And then if, you know, with 20 minutes to go or whatever, he thought, right now it's not working, let's hook Aubameyang. On or put someone. Then he could have done that also. Because
I kind of feel that for me, sometimes he does like a plan B. It's the same with the Brentford match. You know, obviously we had Lacazette and Aubameyang. They got COVID at the last minute, but then we play the same style that we play when either of them are playing. You know, same formation, and we have Martinelli and Balogun on the pitch. Like but they're not the same type of striker. So you kind of got to play to their ability. And that event happened last minute. You know, then getting COVID, etc. But you're seeing these guys day in, day out in training. Do you know what I'm saying? We're seeing them for 90 minutes, maybe certain times. We ain't seen Martinelli for years, to be quite honest. But, you know, we're seeing, but in training, he, you know, Arteta's seen them day in, day out. So he should know what is the best style of play to play with these players. But let me just touch on the Aubameyang situation, because I saw you guys on Torch show the other day. Big up Torch. And you were arguing frantically in regard to Harry Kane and Aubameyang. You know, I can't remember the exact argument, and we're not going to go through all of it. But you were arguing the case for Aubameyang in terms of, you know, especially you, Kerr, I have to say that he's still the guy, basically. You know, he's shown it in the past. He's got 20 goals a season consistently. Last season he had a poor season. Obviously we've only played 7 matches so far. Yeah. Do you think Aubameyang is the guy to get? And you're in a safe environment now, Kerr, so you can speak your truth, big man. But do you think that?
Thank you, I appreciate that.
Wait till the comment section, innit?
You know.
But yeah, do you think that Aubameyang's a guy to get 20 goals this season?
Put your neck on the line, son.
You know what? If we're talking 20 goals in all competitions, then
the technicalities, you know.
Remember, we're not in Europe as well, though, bro.
I know we're not in Europe. I know. Which is still bringing it down a little bit, innit? Yeah. However, that's still 3 competitions, innit? So
fair enough. So you're saying in those 3 competitions,
he could potentially get 20 goals. Because what's he on now? 5
for this season.
He's only got. Yeah, like in all competitions.
Oh, in all competitions.
That's
okay. This guy.
So he's got 5 in all competitions. So if we're going by the end of the season, we've still got
all right,
games in the league.
All right. Let's talk Premiership. Let's talk Premiership.
Order. It's not like straight.
Let's talk even Premiership though. Let's talk Premiership. I'll answer that question for Premiership.
You know what? In the Prem, I'll be honest, it's not looking like he's going to hit 20 this season. If I'm being real, it ain't. And my argument for Aubameyang was more for pre-last season Aubameyang, when I was comparing him with Harry Kane, because I was saying that was a conversation before then. Because when he come into the league, up until the beginning of last season, he'd outscored Harry Kane.
Yeah.
The only person that
I still didn't get the answer, did we? We still didn't get the answer.
Was Mo Salah. Mo Salah was the only player that was scoring on the same rate as Aubameyang.
No, but trust me, he was fire. He was fire.
That's what I'm saying. And so when people are saying, but he wasn't world class or whatever, I'm saying, he's world class man in a team that was so called weaker than a good Spurs team, the best ever Spurs team. So for me, it was like, you've got to have a bit of context there. I can't just have a man trying to diss my guy like that. Do you know what I'm saying?
I hear you.
We're in a safe environment, like you say. So between us gooners, we kind of know that he's not quite been what he's been recently. And I had hope that he might return to some sort of form, but 20 goals in the league, I think it's going to be a bit steep. I'll be honest.
Yeah. Do you know why I respect you? Because you're the type of person, it seems, that if I'm not with you and I'm outside the room, you'll have my back. Do you know what I'm saying?
100,
when talking.
100.
You know what I'm saying?
100.
But then face to face, just tell me the truth, bro. That's all I wanted. And you told me the truth. Like,
You see what, brother? It's a bit peak, but to the man them, I'm gonna back you, innit?
I respect it.
I know.
But let me show you both something, and let me know if you think this is worrying, basically. Yeah. Bear me for a second.
We still didn't get the answer either, Kerr. You know that. You know what you were saying? Answer his question.
Answer the question, bro. And that's what I'm saying. You weren't trying to answer the questions, bro. But,
I can't even put it up, bro. Hold up.
Can't be comparing Thierry Henry and Defoe, bro. You know what I mean? It's not the same conversation. It's not the same
I kind of get, you know what it was? It was just a burn from his heart that, like, Kane is their only guy in it to ever shout about. And they're just like, how dare you say anything on him?
I could feel your sympathy for man. I could feel your sympathy for man.
I didn't. Nah, not really. I was trying to shoot him down. But yeah, come, let's go. What's this?
Yeah, so I've got the stats up to game week 7 for the amount of goals we scored up to game week 7 in previous seasons. So as you can see, this is past 13 years. So 2008, we had the 16. I'm not going to go through all of them. But if you can see for 2021,
time, basically,
bro, like you can see we scored 5 goals up to game week 7 or beyond game week 7. Whereas we've got in 2009, we got 22 goals, for example, after 7 weeks. Do you know what I'm saying? And
I think
is there, because obviously I can see defensively, like one of the positives is, you know, we've been sound, to be quite honest. I mean, in the last 4 matches, I think we've conceded 1 goal or something like that.
Yeah.
But going forward, it doesn't seem like Arteta's tactics, I don't want to blame him, but it's not getting the best out of our attackers, so to speak.
We conceded in 4, actually, have we? When I think about it, it's four league games. Right?
Yeah. Well, we were Tottenham. Remember, we conceded.
Oh yeah, sorry,
yeah,
they got that consolation.
Yeah.
Lucky fuckers.
I wanted that to be 3-0, man. I really.
I know.
Yeah.
Me and you wanted 4s and 5s, but you can't have everything.
You
know what I mean? Yeah, exactly. But yeah, no. Just quickly, I would say with regards to that is exactly what you're saying, JR. Like. It's a different sort of Arsenal now, isn't it? Like Arteta's got a very emphasis in like even what Kerr was saying in the game, like with the tactics, he wasn't bringing on to win the game. He was like just to, you know, solidify what we had, sort of thing. So you can see that that's how he wants to play.
Yeah.
And yeah, like all I will say is when he gets more, like obviously he's got more of his players now, and as hopefully the board continue to back him, I don't know whether he will mature his play into more of an offensive sort of thing. It's almost just like, because he obviously primarily wants to concede, like not concede and then catch. We have players who can obviously score. Yeah. Then he's kind of got that mentality at the moment. But yeah, it is when you bring up the stats in black and white. Yeah, it's a bit worrying.
It's quite right. I think when he sorry, I was going to say just quickly, when he first came, like the mission was to stop conceding goals, because if you remember when Emery was there,
it was
they were running straight through us teams, literally running through the midfield, shooting and getting a goal.
Do you remember
we
had like Wolves, like Palace, all these things. Fulham was like having 18, 20 shots against us.
Yes,
home,
bro. Yes, bro.
That was the last games of Emery's reign. Like,
yeah.
So he had a lot to do, bro. He had a lot to do.
Yeah. So credit to him for showing up there. But go on, Kerr.
No, I was just going to say, I've got a little bit of a different perspective.
Go on.
In terms of, like what he did touch on it a little bit there. When Arteta come in, and one of the things that I conceded, one of the things is like what I think just touched on a little bit as well. Since Arteta's been there, he hasn't bought one attacker.
Yeah, I hear that. And
now, what I will say is,
and I think he did want to.
Whereas a lot of other, like, you know, like when we first got Emery and things like that, I feel like we was trying to do a lot of patchwork in terms of get a player for here, patch that position, get a player for here, patch that position. Yeah. Whereas I feel like at the moment, I could be being optimistic here. I really could. And people could call me delusional. I don't know. But I feel like in a way, he's gone back to basics and said, right, we need to build from the back.
Yeah.
And build a solid foundation.
And
I feel like that's where we've gone. Now, this is more hope than expectation right now as well. I must throw out there, because obviously we don't know. We haven't got a body of work from Arteta to compare to or say, well, look what he done here or look what he done there. We haven't. So we're freestyling a little bit and we're hoping that he's doing something, or we're hoping that there's a plan or whatever, a strategy, But from what I can see him doing in terms of, you know, the younger players we've brought in, the goalkeeper, a more solid back four now that I can look at from, you know, especially our starting back four, that I can look at now and say, do you know what? With a little bit more hope that we're not going to go into goals and get slapped 4s and 5s.
We look definitely more solid. I agree.
So I feel like we're building from the back a lot more. So I feel like once we've worked on that, and once he feels that we're a little bit more solid, once he feels that we can win our battles individually, as you know, as a defense, and we can stay more one-on-one marking with defenders and things like that, I feel like we will see our attacking play start to improve, because then you won't see the wingers having to cover so much ground, Aubameyang, you know, in our half as much of the time as he is now, and that we can start, you know, and because the confidence within the team as well will start to build. They don't feel like they will have to get back in shape because we're going to concede otherwise. I feel like they'll then be able to feel that, you know what, let me hang on the last defender here, because if we catch a ball here, we can break fast and you know, try and break the lines quicker. But at the same time as well, I think going to add another little bit more context to that table that you brought up, I feel like first 3 games we hadn't scored a goal. So 3 out of those 7, like I say, we hadn't scored anyway, and 3 out of those, I'm gonna kind of give him a little bit of a blie in that although things should have been better and performance should have been better, we didn't have the team. But we didn't have the team that we wanted out on the pitch. If the team that was in the last 4 games that we've played had started those 3 games and we still had the same results, still had the same goals,
I agree with you.
That's
a good point.
Then I would worry a little bit more, because then I'll be like, well, you've had all your players, you ain't got the excuses, you've got your team there now. You should be doing something. But I feel like since we have had the time, since we have had, you know, and like you said, 2 of the biggest cogs, without, you know, bringing any of our new players in, 2 of our biggest cogs for us have been Aubameyang and Lacazette. In terms of they've been difference makers for us, you know, they've galvanized the young players, got them involved and stuff like that. And I feel like missing them and them having their issues within the first couple of weeks, and Aubameyang not being fit, Laka not being fit, COVID, this, that, and the other, I feel like that played a big part in obviously the goals scored and whatever, especially against Brentford and things like that. But I think I'm hoping that
will change. But can I just say, is it still on the screen or is it gone?
It's gone.
That's gone.
Good. I just want to say though, I agree with what you're saying. That's good points that you raised, to be fair. The only thing I would say to that is last season we only scored 55 goals. So that was another low in terms of going forward. One of the issues that we had was scoring goals. And to be fair, we bought Odegaard. We ain't really done anything to kind of sort that situation. I do think he tried to sort that situation out, but it didn't materialize, so to speak. There's been talk of, was it Ollie Watkins and Calvert-Lewin? Ash, does any of those guys?
You know what, man? Just quickly, one thing, just to add context to that last point you made, JR, as well. We lost Aubameyang's goals last season, a lot of goals. So, you know, I think you can't really foresee that sort of thing happening.
We still ain't got them back though, bro. We still ain't got them back. That's my issue.
But I also feel like, again, that's because we were trying to solidify the team so much. So
I agree with that.
I don't think we was going as expansive and trying to get.
But he was not on. He was not on job though either, man.
No, Aubameyang, I'm totally agreeing with that point. But I'm just saying
we have to change it up.
He's not
playing like
under trying to be hard to beat.
He's not.
So I feel like that contributed in, you know, not scoring as many goals, because I feel like he was trying to focus on not conceding so many, because
that was our focus.
A bit of quality to try and nick a goal here or nick a goal there if we're not conceding. But if we're conceding 2-3 a game, what chance have we got? Yeah, because we're not Liverpool or we're not Man City in terms of we're going to sit here and say, we're going to outscore.
I've got nothing wrong with the strategy. You've got to work with, you know, your strengths and what you can do in it. It's like when everyone says, oh, you know, Newcastle go to bloody Manchester United and park the bus. But what are they going to do? Well, they're going to go there and go on the front foot. Like, at the end of the day, it is what it is, ain't it?
I still think
we see teams like Leeds try and do that against the big teams and then get slapped.
They get blowed over.
And now Bielsa's being questioned.
I know, but come on,
no. At the start of the season.
No. But one thing I would say, agreed. They do go to the big teams and get slapped. But we went to Burnley and Norwich. They're not really big teams. Do you know what I'm saying? And we scored 1 goal. Do you know what I'm saying?
I think
and they're half decent team. This season, I'm talking. Yeah. And you know, his first target was to shore up our defense. Agreed, and he has done that. Do you know what I'm saying? I can see what he's trying to do with the defense, but I am still worried about going forward. But Ash, does Calvert-Lewin or Ollie Watkins, do they
you know what?
impress you, or is it not really
about this the other day, you know? And it's just like, when I just think of, for what it is, I probably would, but it's just annoying because it's just like, I go back to thinking Sanchez would go for, Ozil would go for, Aubameyang would go for, this caliber of players at top clubs playing Champions League football. Now you're going for Ollie Watkins, bloody ECL. Like,
he's an Arsenal supporter.
It's where we are. And to be honest with you, the only thing which I do like about those two is that I think it probably would fit our style of how we want to play. I think potentially like them, they're good at holding the ball up.
Exactly, especially Calvert-Lewin, man. I
think they're more,
half decent.
But
I don't think the quality of centre forward is what it once was either at the moment.
No,
I mean, you look at Man City, they've probably got all the resources in the world. They need a striker. You look at Chelsea, they went and had to bring back a player they let go for £100 million to try and fill the void at striker. Do you know what I mean? Like, because I don't feel like
I think there is top end though. I know what you mean in a general. Like, obviously, I think if City really wanted to, that they should have got Kane or they should have got Haaland. Just come to an agreement with Dortmund before he's going to be obviously at this like cut price.
But like you said,
I know what you mean. I know what you mean. I know what you mean.
Those two strikers you've just named, though.
Exactly.
Kane
no, I know what you mean.
Haaland.
Yeah. There's not many.
And obviously Lukaku. How many more players around the continent are on that kind of level? Whereas, say, a decade ago or whatever, you could reel off a bag of gun, man. Like, and be like, yo, this man, that man.
Yeah. And he seems to be on the. He seems to be on the looking for British players as well. Do you know what I'm saying?
I would have taken Ings, man. You know that. I think a lot of people miss the trick.
I don't know.
I don't know about that one either. I'll be honest. He's looking at the player.
Yeah. But we're looking for the young forwards or young players now.
I'd prefer them bring a DCL or a Watkins than a...
Just for the money, really.
Just for the age as well, man.
Just for the money, really.
On what you're trying to do.
It's just the money as well. Like, I don't feel like we're in a position at the moment to be... Hence, we're buying everyone at 20 million, 25. The days are gone of just splashing a 70. And that's probably what these men will cost. 50 to 70, I'd say. DCL, would you say? What did they buy Ings for? 25
because of the teams that you're trying to negotiate with as well. Yeah,
and the timing as well. If you're looking to get in January,
they don't let that go. And Everton
in January as well. The difference is as well. You know where we're not going for Champions League players anymore. It is actually realistic to do good business in January now. Do you see what I mean? Because none of these players, obviously, Everton are never going to want to get rid of Thingy mid-season. But you know, it's impossible to get a decent player, you know, when we was wanting to go for Champions League players, because you know you're not going to be able to get them, but you could possibly get a Watkin or a DCL. You'd probably pay a bit more money than you would in the summer, where they can organise proper replacements and stuff. But
what out of the two would you choose, if any, or would you not? Would you climb both of them, Ollie Watkins or DCL?
I feel like Ollie Watkins has got a bit more pace about him and that.
Okay.
And as an Arsenal fan, growing up with legendary strikers that have always had pace, you know what I mean? I like that. I like that in a forward.
Yeah.
DCL, I think he's got a decent all-round game. Very good in the air. With the way we're blinking playing, he'd probably suit us more because all we seem to do is want to get it to Tierney and whip it in. So if that's going to be our game plan going forward, then
that's what I'm saying.
DCL wins.
Suit our game plan, isn't it? That's what I'm saying.
If we're going to actually build on a pattern of play when it comes to going forward now, and that's what I hope Arteta's going to start to try and introduce now, a pattern of play going forward rather than now just the defensive part, then I think a Watkins could work because I like his mobility, I like his work rate. And I think he's a decent player. Obviously, it doesn't. Neither of them make me go, "Oh my gosh!" Like we're gonna do a madness next season. Yeah. It'll be again a bit like some of the signings we've already signed this summer. It's more of more hope than expectation. Like you're hoping they're gonna change up.
You know, it's just when you hear those names,
we're guaranteed doing a madness next season.
Yeah,
you know
it's just when you hear the names, it's just like it's those certain realization points. It's not that I don't know where we are. Like I know that that's what we should be going for, and I know that the caliber striker, there's not a good variance of them. But it's just I don't know. I was in a moment, and I just said, "Fucking Ollie Watkins, bruv," and DCL. Just from what we're used to.
Would you prefer Tony?
Tony, I'd like to see him how he does this season. I think that obviously I watched a bit of him last season, and what he's done this season so far, I like the look of him.
Yeah.
I like the look of him.
I just thought you would throw it out there.
He's in that bracket of Watkin and Thingy.
I think so as well. 100%.
No, agreed. Right, we're coming closer to the end of the show, and we're going to look at random thoughts. I've got a couple for this week. Just want to quickly touch on the Crystal Palace match. Our next match, we're at home. Do you think we can pick things up for that match? Are you positive that we can kind of move forward? You've had a bit of a blip. Is Crystal Palace the match to kind of move things forward, Kerr?
I don't think it's going to be the easiest game, just because I think I mentioned on the previous show, because the Vieira derby. So I don't think they're going to just come and lay down. for us. The only thing is, as well, is I'm glad that we're at home. So after our most recent performance, I'm hoping that the players and that are going to want to turn up. And, you know, the Emirates crowd, we're not just going to have it, are we, if the players don't come out and show the kind of application that they showed against Brighton.
Yeah,
like, the crowd,
exactly.
The crowd at the Emirates will be onto them. Like,
exactly.
That's not going to happen.
Yeah,
so just for that fact alone, I think we can do something in a game. And as with everything with Arsenal, again, it's more hope than expectation because I don't really know how it's going to turn out, but I'm hoping that we can turn up and nick a little victory there and just get another 3 points on the board and try and move on again from there.
Right, all right. Ash, what's the score going to be, bro?
I think it'd be tight affair. 1-0, 2-0 max.
Yeah.
I think we'll keep a clean sheet.
Yeah.
Kind of mirror what Kerr's saying on the money, to be fair. Just to add, I just think we're in a position now at the moment, especially how we set up and how we play, that we're not just going to be blowing teams away. Like it's not really going to happen. So, and the fact is, which we've touched on many a times, that there's no real mugs in the Premier League anymore. Do you know what I mean? Even like Palace are coming, Zaha's there, that Gallagher's looking decent in midfield.
Yeah.
They've got, you know what I mean? Like Vieira seems to have got quite a good, stability there in the team already. So yeah, it's just going to be a tough game, man. So yeah, I'll take
the way they come back against Leicester, innit? The way they come back against Leicester on the weekend just gone, for example.
And they
went 2-0 up though.
Facts. It's over.
3-0 against Spurs as well, wasn't it? And that was they was burying them even before.
But with Spurs, they did go. Spurs did go down to 10 men, and
even before that, bro,
they were doing all right.
Palace was all over them. No, because I was thinking in that game, they're going to get Spurs are going to get this flipping win here, and it would have been 4 out of 4.
I thought Spurs were going to win that before the 10 men, if I'm honest. But when the 10 men happened, I thought like,
serious? No.
Yeah,
I don't think so.
I was watching a different match.
I thought we was going to be more out of luck because I thought Crystal Palace were the better team.
Yeah, okay.
But I thought it was just going to be where obviously Tottenham have got that bit of quality, whether it be a Son, Kane, or whatever. I thought someone's going to pop up with a thingy and it'll be a 1-0 to Spurs. That's what I thought.
100.
Although I thought, because I felt that the pressure that Crystal Palace were applying on them, they didn't really get what they deserved out of it at the time. Do you know what I mean? Until they got the penalty and then went on with the 10 men and whatever else. But before then, I did think Palace were the better team personally.
Oh, fair enough. I must be watching a different match to you two, man. clearly. All right, random thoughts. The first one, there's only 2 for today. The first one, did Andros Townsend, was he playing homage to Ronaldo or was he taking the mick? Yeah. Was he taking a mick? For me personally, he was taking the mick. But then he tried to post on Twitter like, his Ronaldo shirt or something like that to show that he was paying homage.
I swear he looks like he could be his flipping dad, bro. He's older than him about his hero and that. Do you know what I mean? He's like, nah, he was taking the piss, bro. And then he tried to beg it. He kind of probably knew, you know what? Nah.
Yeah, you can't be mugging Ronaldo like
exactly.
And then getting away with it. Ronaldo and the Ronaldo fans, because you got to remember them thing are global, bro. You know, like that. He got fanboys from every corner of the world.
You know, anywhere he goes,
getting onto Townsend. Anywhere
Townsend
went,
come on, any holiday he's lying on the beach, someone's gonna kick sand in his face.
Never living that down, man.
Them Ronaldo fans, they're real guys. I'm telling you.
But I tell you what, shout out to the Aston Villa fans though. You saw what they were doing on I saw it on Twitter when they did the celebration. Yeah, the car park. That was bad. That was bad. All right,
I think you're going to see that a lot this season, though. Them celebrations.
Yeah. As long as Ollie's
at the wheel, don't win. Yeah, you're going to see that a lot. And Ronaldo don't look too happy right now, boy.
Definitely. Yeah, no, he didn't. Especially after that Everton match. To be fair, he looked very unhappy. I don't understand why Ollie wasn't starting him. To be fair, I did not get that. Like we've got an international break. What are you waiting for?
Yeah. No,
he's trying to be too clever. Man. What's he playing at?
Yeah, I don't know. Ollie's got a death wish or something, man. Literally.
Bro, Ronaldo's not that guy, bro. To be
you can't play with him.
Ronaldo's player manager.
Might not be in his title, but he's player manager. Ronaldo. You understand?
100%.
You see the way he acts when he was
coming,
Portugal. You know what I mean? And he won them the
coaching
Euros,
the team, bro.
Coordinating, orchestrating everything. You know what I mean? Like, you don't play with Ronaldo. You can't bench him. You got to ask him, innit?
He's sitting there, Ollie, thinking, who's this little fish, bruv? Like, you was bench man when I was at United. You could have laced my bench,
I know you're used to the bench. I ain't.
Man. Innit?
Innit? Me? Bench?
Come on, bro.
Bruv, you imagine?
No, you can't treat Ron like that. No way.
No, you can't, man. You can't. He's got that GOAT mentality, man. Man wants to play every game out here, man.
Come on, that's it.
But like someone said, for Andros Townsend, when Ronaldo meets him again, he's gonna be on a vendetta, bro. Do you know what I'm saying? And Ronaldo's gonna ask to stop.
And he went on the pitch or whatever. You know he was fuming, innit?
Yeah. That's angry. All right, last one now, yeah. This one's just a bit of fun. Tell me when you can see. Can you see the screen?
I see.
Yeah.
Right. So this is only going back to 2007 onwards. So I'm not naming the likes of Lauren and Ashley Cole. But who is the best fullback duo for Arsenal in your opinion? And I know it's a bit early to be kind of putting Tierney and Tomiyasu in.
Easy for me. It's easy.
It's a bit of fun. But go on, Ashton.
3.
Yeah.
Cliche and Sagna,
Yeah.
The thing is, Bellerin was like, Monreal, to be fair, was like, he weren't the worst. Solid enough.
He was steady Eddie, innit?
He wasn't like, a Silvino or a Cliche in his prime or Ashley Cole, that dynamic fullback, pacey. Do you know what I mean? Like, we all know what they could do. But he was solid enough. And then Bellerin was just fast for a couple of years. And then, whatever's happened to him, we all know, man got into fashion a bit more or whatever it is. And he can't run no more.
Planting trees.
Come on, all that. Sagna just a real G, bro.
Sagna and Cliche,
Sagna, you said there, innit? Sagna and
Sagna was a boss,
Come on, solid.
He was boss. He was so solid. I loved him, I loved him, man.
He's just face.
I don't know about his hairstyles, but I loved him. Bro.
Nah, definitely.
Like, the only thing that used to wind me up a bit with him was his crossing, because he used to get mad good positions, and his crossing used to let him down. But in terms of as a defender, he was dependable as any fullback you'll find.
You know what, Kurt? Cliche's crossing used to wind me up as well.
They were both the same. They were both the same.
Yeah.
Because in terms of recovery and defensively, I thought they were both good. But the thing with Cliche that wound me up even more though is because his athletic ability was ridiculous. Like, he was so fast. He was he's athletic.
He lacked something mentally for me though.
And then he'd do everything right up until the final third.
Then
you think, go on.
That's what their man said, innit? That's what their man used to say. All the Arsenal boys, innit? When Cliche was coming through as a youngster, they would go up to Ashley Cole and say, Ashley who, innit? Like, they'll just like say, he's taking your shirt, bruv. Like, it was that good. Like, everything you were saying there had all the attributes and that. But
So as the screen, I was gonna go for. Has the screen gone firstly to make sure?
It has,
yeah. I was gonna go for. You know what? I think I will go for. I'm gonna go against the grain. I did like Sagna, but I'm gonna go for Monreal and Bellerin.
Really?
Yeah. Do you know what? Sagna for me was a bad boy. Like, but do you know what? I'm being and you guys won't remember, obviously, but in terms of what we won when Bellerin and Monreal were there, we won 3 FA Cups, which is not a league or anything, but it's trophies. Do you know what I'm saying? Monreal got 3 FA Cups with us. Sagna, we got 1 FA Cup with, and he seems for me was like the nearly guy. I also feel that Cliche for me, athletically, good player. Do you know what I'm saying? But I think he lacked something mentally. I don't know. He just wasn't very strong mentally. And I think that kind of let him down. And if we're naming them as a duo, then I would say I think Monreal and Bellerin were more solid. And Bellerin in his prime, yeah, let's not forget, going forward as well, Bellerin was a beast, but like he was a quality player. Now we're talking about the Bellerin now that he was modeling and he wanted to save the world and all of that. That's not the Bellerin from younger days. Do you know what I'm saying?
When he first come on the scene, yeah, he did.
He was the guy. Like Barcelona wanted him. They wanted him to go back and all that. Let's not forget all of that.
Solid.
He was pacey. Yeah, a lot of pace. A lot of pace.
Pacey
does have potential to probably be the best out of all of them.
Tomiyasu and Tierney, yeah.
Yeah, I think our current.
I think so as well.
They've got the potential as a duo, like we say in there.
They've
got the potential to be as good as, and if not better than any of those ones that are on. The I just think it's a bit early to say I'm going to put them.
I agree.
Like you said there, you've seen those other two partnerships. Yeah, that's why I'm adding my context. them other two partnerships we've seen actually produce something for Arsenal. So there's 3 for them, man, and there was 1 for the other 2 or whatever in it. But they were also part of good sides that we remember with the you know what I'm saying? So we did see like we kind
out
of
all those men quickly. Out of all those guys, who was the conveyor belt going to City, like Colo Torre, Sagna, Nasri. I think Cliche was the one that I weren't as bothered about.
Exactly. And if
thinking like, you know what, obviously we'd like to keep him, but the rest of them,
because Nasri did kind of hurt me. I ain't gonna lie, because he was about to turn into a true bad boy.
Nasri was a baller, bro.
That hurt me the most out of all them, man.
Yeah. To this day, man. But what I would say is, if we were just talking about individuals for those fullbacks, then I would say Sagna of all of those was the better player. But then remember, we're talking about duos, and I didn't think Cliche was as strong. Do you know what I'm saying? So and Monreal was consistent in what he did. Do you know what I'm saying? So but
he was 7 every game, innit? Like
exactly.
You know, you asked that. You know, when you'd have probably asked that question a couple of years back when Bellerin was flying, you might be like thinking.
That's what I'm saying. We forget.
You know what I mean? But it's just that. Don't get me wrong. I am considering how Bellerin was. I know he was all right, but now.
I also feel though with the Bellerin thing, I feel like there was only a short period where he was flying in, and then just personally, I feel like he was flying for a bit, like he had a good season when he first come in, that first good season, and then when in the next season
he got a few injuries,
he got injured. He had the big injury.
It was the next season, but they're big after that injury. He lost a bit,
and then I feel like for a long time after that, then because that kind of extended his stay with Arsenal, and then for me it was a bit like. We were all still trying to hope that he was going to be that player that we saw.
Come on.
And I don't ever think that he ever kind of hit that heights.
Don't you think he's just a pace merchant? Don't you think he's just a pace merchant?
No. I think
he did have some quality to his game, like in terms of going forward or whatever.
I think he took that pace away. Like,
he wasn't a Walker, bro. Walker was a pace merchant.
Away, that was massive for him. Like, he was quicker than Theo and all of them.
I think he was a bit like Walker in that he relied on that recovery pace. Like his positioning and things weren't always the best.
I see that. I see that.
I had the pace. I'll burn man and catch man. I don't always think he was the best positionally or defensively, but he was good going forward. He did have some good attributes, but like I say, I feel like his prime at Arsenal wasn't actually that long. I think if it was 2 seasons,
I think it's more than that, man. He's been there since he was 16, but obviously I don't know when he first debuted. I think it's maybe 21. I'm not sure, but that after that injury, he wasn't the same Bellerin. That's facts. I agree with that. But I don't think he was just a pace merchant. I think he had a bit more than, because when we just say pace merchant, it kind of, I think it makes it seem comparable to Walcott or someone, where I think he had a bit more of a brain than Walcott did, to be fair. And going forward, he offered something as well.
I think all it was just made it changed him from being a really good player, like that we were saying for the year or two, arguably, whatever it was, that he was obviously a good player at one point at Arsenal, really good, to just as soon as he lost that pace, he just bang average. Do you see what I mean? In that respect, kind of like he relies so much on it. Whereas there's other players where they had pace in their career, lost it, but then they still got enough about them to kind of still do a job.
Yeah, but mentally as well, he was gone as well. I think he'd been there for long enough. He'd stayed longer than he wanted to stay, and I think we're anywhere where you are where you don't really want to be. Like your heart's not in it no more. Do you know what I'm saying? And his mind wasn't on football at Arsenal, so he needed to move.
Yeah.
So yeah, but listen, guys, it's time. I think it's been a good one today, man. It's good. It's been good chopping up with you guys. Thank you for coming on as always. Hopefully we can move forward positively from the Brighton match. I think we will, to be quite honest. Thank you for your knowledge and insights today. Is there anything you want to say before we go? Either of you?
Bro, just appreciate you having me on again this week, bro.
Blessings, blessings.
And
Ash, you got another one? On. Yeah, hopefully we do. Hopefully you do.
Yeah, no, just again, thanks for having me on. Anyone who's new to the channel, follow jrthefrgooner, doing a lot of good stuff, does the previews as well. You can find me Instagram, Boods49, at Boods Bants on TikTok. If anyone's on there, enjoy a bit of football banter. And yeah, that's it. Thanks again for having me on. Love Kerr. Good show again, mate.
Yeah, always. Big up both of you, man. Big up both of you. And this guy Ash is not. He's everywhere. Yeah, so probably catch him tonight on another pod. Literally, turn on your screens now. He's gonna be there. Give him 10 minutes. Yeah.
Don't blink, innit?
Don't blink. Don't blink. Nah, but blessings, people. Blessings. Until next time. Yeah.
Love
my bro.